But then as soon as it's over, I'm like, wow, that was cool. I enjoyed it.
I'm pretty easy to talk to, so
Yeah. So,
yeah.
well, introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Christine Darrow. I am the owner of Fund Development, and I'm also the chairman of fundraising for the Thousand Islands Area Habitat for Humanity.
You said fund,
Yes.
not fun.
No, but I do capitalize the F-U-N because I like putting the fun in fundraising, and also I'm super corny, so.
Yeah, I was like, what fun? Okay. And so we were talking. There's several things you got going on that are really interesting. The history show that you were talking about, I was like, you were telling me about some. There was some stuff that went on in Sakis, was it? Was it Sakis?
Yes.
Where they were tearing down some boats or something? Was that what that was? And some psychic stuff.
Yes.
Now,
Lots of psychic stuff going on this weekend.
All right. So tell me a little bit about what's going on this weekend, then we'll jump into that.
Yeah, so I am hosting a psychic fair over at the All Souls Unitarian Church, and it's to benefit the Thousand Islands Area Habitat for Humanity.
So it's at a church.
Yes.
That's different, right? I thought churches were kind of strange with psychic stuff.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because that's actually how I first met Wilson Stevenson, and he's going to be the medium that's doing the gallery reading for me. So the story behind Wilson Stevenson, for those of you who don't know him, he is a very well-known psychic medium in the area, and he does a lot of charity work.
Okay.
So when I first met him, it was about 15 years ago at the All Souls Unitarian Church. And he was doing a fundraiser, I think, for them. And I had attended the gallery reading. It was the first time I'd ever attended anything like that. And he chose me out of the crowd and told me that I was going to have 2 sets of twins within 2 years, and the first set were going to be girls. And it really surprised me. There's a lot of twins in my family. There's about 13 sets of twins. So I wasn't super shocked that the possibility of me having twins, but the thought that someone I didn't know would even get that kind of idea was really surprising.
2 sets of twins? What?
Yeah. So a few months later, I found out I was pregnant with girls. And of course, they were twins, yet twin girls.
Way.
3 months after my daughters were born, I got pregnant with my second set of twins. So I had 2 sets of twins in 2 years, just like Wilson said. So from that point on, I was a believer, and we've been working together off and on for years doing different charity events.
So you kind of figured you had some power. When did you realize that it was a psychic power that was different from other people?
Yeah, so it was actually a really scary experience for me. Like when I finally did realize that I was different, I had an experience where I was 6 years old, so I was pretty little, and I was coming home on the school bus. And how I get information, I don't actually see things with my eyes. I get what I would describe as a memory that hasn't happened yet. So it's like So think of like a childhood memory, like when you were a kid. Like you don't see it with your eyes. You kind of see it in your mind's eye. So for me, in my mind's eye, this thought just came to me. It was a tombstone, and next to the tombstone was this big pine tree. And I knew it was a graveyard. So for me, I was like, why am I thinking about death? You know, it was strange, especially being 6 years old. And I got off the bus, and I remember when I walked into the living room, my mom was sitting on the couch crying, and she had told me that my grandmother had passed away. And I was so shocked. Of course, being 6 years old, you don't quite understand death. So for me, I didn't know if I caused it to happen. I didn't know if I was always going to know when someone was going to die, and it absolutely terrified me. And I remember when I went to my grandmother's funeral, her tombstone was right next to this very large pine tree. And that just it absolutely terrified me. And I remember asking God to completely take the ability away from me. I didn't want to know anything. And I was pretty much like that my whole life, where these thoughts would come in and I'd push them away.
Okay.
Because I didn't know, if I know this, like what information that I might not want to know will I start knowing? So I pushed that away for a very long time, like well into my adulthood.
So how long were you at Lilydale?
I've been to Lilydale twice. I usually just go down for the weekend. I was actually really lucky. The last time I went down, around August 2nd, I got Susan B. Anthony's bedroom. I rented it out of an Airbnb.
What?
So it was kind of cool, like staying in her room. Of course, a lot of major movements started at Lilydale because, again, the whole inspiration stump. People believe that God were giving them inspiration to change the course of the future. And of course, we all know Susan B. Anthony was all about women's right to vote. And so she would visit Inspiration Stump to try to get some of God's wisdom to see how she could make this movement flourish.
What was the classes like? I mean, what did they, could you?
So the class was about using different intuitive abilities. Like there are some intuitives out there who can hear messages. There's some who can see. There's some who are like me that just get like thoughts and pictures in their mind. Actually, this is really interesting about Wilson Stevenson. We had a conversation recently where he was telling me that he doesn't really see ghosts with the naked eye because he's a medium, so he can talk to and communicate with spirits. I don't do that, thank God, because it scares me so bad. But he actually told me that he gets the thoughts in his head, like what a ghost looks like, what they're trying to tell him. He doesn't actually see it with the naked eye. So that's kind of how I get information too, is I see it in my mind's eye. I can see somebody.
I actually met somebody who used him before, or knew somebody that used him as a medium with somebody that passed away.
He is very good. Yep.
That is, I mean, with the twins thing's blowing me away, right?
Yeah, he's very specific. Very specific. Me, not so much. Like, I can tell you that you're going to get pregnant, but Wilson will tell you what your baby will have on its 30th birthday for breakfast.
Wow.
Of course, I'm just kidding, but I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it might come.
Who knows with him, but.
What? I mean, so tell us about this event. So you're putting it on. Yep. And you're hosting it.
Yeah, so it's going to be at the All Souls Unitarian Church over on Gotham Street from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be a variety of psychics there. I'm going to be doing readings. I'm going to be doing like a 4-for-1 type deal where I do psychometry, tarot, pendulum, and charm casting readings. And of course, I'm going to donate 100% of the proceeds back to Habitat. There's going to be other readers there too. There's going to be people doing dream interpretations. There's going to be, there's the church right there. There's going to be mediumship done, palm readers. I think we might actually have a tea leaf reader too. There's going to be some healers there. Reiki is going to be going on. And I even have someone coming to do body contouring, which is the coolest thing ever.
What is that?
It's like when they contour your face, like if you need to get rid of a double chin or you want to get your belly done because it's like bikini season. But yeah, we're going to have someone there doing that. I mean, it's Wilson doesn't do his gallery reading until 2. So if you come early.
What day is this?
Saturday, September 14th. Yeah,
right.
This Saturday. So yeah, it's going to be a full day from 10 to 4. And I'm giving away, my company, Fund Development, is actually sponsoring goodie bags for the first 50 people who come to the event. So what I'm sticking in there is rose quartz. And I'm also going to be putting in some different crystals, like little mini jars full of crystals and little stickers and goodie bags. I usually like to treat people who come to the event so they have like a little takeaway to take home with them.
My dad always carried a crystal with him. Yeah. And when I got to like big sales, I was doing outside sales, going to like big companies. I mean, it was a lot of pressure. And I picked up a crystal myself, and I don't really know what to do with it or what it does. What kind is it? I don't really, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Okay. But I treated it like it was something special. I would rub that thing just like that when I'm walking in these meetings, just for anxiety. It was almost like a fidget spinner for me. I mean, I was pretty good at what I did, so I don't know. Maybe there was something there, but I don't know. But I did carry one like that, just like I was like, I need some supernatural help getting here, getting this account or something, you know. But
Yeah, I
um,
like to wear amethyst on me because that's supposed to help with psychic readings.
I don't even know what that is either.
It's just a purple crystal.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So now, when you said you do tarot reading,
Yeah, so I do tarot, I do
tarot,
psychometry, which I did a little bit of psychometry on you when I met
right?
you. So, and psychometry is kind of neat. Actually, I never knew what it was. I
Mm-hmm.
always just knew I could get information through my left hand. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it was another intuitive that was like, that's called psychometry. I'm like, what? It's a thing? Like, I just thought I was the only person that could do that.
Yeah.
But so how psychometry works, it's always the hand that you don't write with. So I'm right-handed, so I
Mm-hmm.
only have the ability in my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I pick up information. Um, like for instance, if somebody has a bad day and they're like, "Oh, I'm fine," and I hug them or I shake their hand with two hands. I will sometimes do that when I meet someone. I shake their hands with two hands. That way, I
Mm-hmm.
get a little nosy.
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, you did not have a good day today. I feel
Yeah.
it on you. Like something happened." Yeah, like I even had a friend whose car broke down. He's like, "Oh, I had a good day," and I'm like, "No, you had some stress today. I can feel it."
So it only works with my left hand too.
With it doesn't matter like what hand I touch somebody with. Like,
Oh,
say you shaking my hand, so
okay.
shake my hand like this,
Yep.
and then I'll be like, "Oh, nice to meet you." I can get a little bit of information this way. But when I do my readings, I will ask my clients just to put their palm flat down on me like that.
Yeah.
And with you, I always get a strong energy, like a fast-moving energy, like something coming in quickly. I'm not really sure what that means. I feel, for me, the first thought that I get about you is ambition, like things moving really, really fast. Like I feel it when you put your palm in my palm. It's like energy moving quickly, almost like a fast-moving river. So to me, I have to think, like, what does that make me think of?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, for me, it makes me think of success, like someone who's climbing very quickly.
Hmm.
So I definitely get that feeling with you that whatever it is that you work on, it's going to move quickly.
Whew. All right. You put
Let me see
pressure
if I get
on there.
anything else. I don't know. Let's
Just
see
try
what
my
I get.
left hand this time?
Okay. Yeah, it's that same moving. It almost feels like a current, just moving really fast, like really fast moving water. Yeah, that's.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can see
I'm
anything
kidding.
else, but no, I'm seeing like fast moving water, but I don't think it's literally water. I think it's something moving quickly. So I don't know if you got a lot of dreams, but like now would be the time to get them because
Yeah.
I feel like whatever you want to accomplish, you're going to do it quickly.
Yeah. All right. I think. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I got the pedal down every day. So I don't know.
Yeah. Someone else does too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What I was also going to say is to finish my thought just a second ago is when you get something. I also believe in like manifesting, right? So if I was running to a psychic and they were like, they tell you something's good's going to happen, you're going to believe in it, right? And you're going to make that kind of thing happen. If they tell you something bad, I mean, you might believe that too, and then
Yeah.
something bad could happen, you know? And I don't know if it's like the same current of energy, or it's just a different way of saying it, you know? I don't know.
I mean, to me, I think that gets back into that whole authenticity thing that we were talking about. Because if you ever run across a psychic that's like, something really bad's going to happen to you, there's a curse. If you pay me to do this spell, I can take away that negative energy from you. Always be cautious of people who tell you a psychic reading should never be scary. It just shouldn't. So if you walk away being like, oh, like I don't feel good about that, it probably wasn't authentic. Like even if you hear something that's not good, like I've even had people ask me, oh, is my husband cheating on me? And that's one of those questions where it's like, you don't ever go to a psychic to get marital advice. You just don't. Like, if you think that there's something wrong in your marriage, you need to go to your spouse and work that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to a psychic. I mean, what would you even say? A psychic told me you're cheating, so let's get divorced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I would always caution people to, make sure that you work out your marital problems with your partner or a marriage counselor, never a psychic.
Have you ever seen any weird stuff like that? Like if people ask you and you're like, oh yeah, I don't say nothing, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know how TV friendly this is, but the very first time I gave a stranger a reading, because I've always done it for friends and family, like just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a family member encourage me to kind of branch out and do a cold reading to somebody I've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a reading for someone over the phone. I don't think they were even in the same state. Didn't know their name, didn't know anything about them. And I'm giving them this tarot reading, and I'm seeing that this woman was cheating on her boyfriend with a married pregnant woman. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I even going to say this?
What? Repeat it one more time.
I saw in the cards that a woman was cheating on her boyfriend with a married pregnant woman.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, there's no way this can be true. Like, it was my first time reading a stranger. I'm like, oh my God, like I must have had this way off. So I gave the reading in the most professional, kind way that I could to make sure I wasn't insulting anybody, or I kind of prettied up the language so it wouldn't sound as bad as what it was. And it's funny because
how did you do that?
Because my family member called me and she's like, oh my God, you really freaked my friend out. She had no idea how you knew that she was cheating on her boyfriend with a married pregnant woman.
What?
It was real, yeah. I mean, I danced around it. I'm like, oh, there's a woman that you really like, but it's kind of I had the devil card.
Yeah.
I'm like, again, it's kind of toxic. I see that this isn't like a loving relationship. It's more of a lustful one. And I think you should break away. And I saw too, because I had the Empress card that came out as a clarifier. And the Empress card is a pregnant woman. So I could see that the woman was pregnant.
What?
Yeah, so it was one of those things where, of course, I dressed it up and made it sound pretty. But I'm like, I would caution you to not be with this person because I don't think that it is a positive connection. So I didn't come out and say, you're cheating on your boyfriend with a married pregnant woman, but she got the point without me having to say it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you got this event this weekend. It's going to be awesome. I got to work. There's no way I'm going to be there. Then I got this boxing thing, but I'm going to try to get this podcast out by Friday or probably tomorrow afternoon, probably. That way we could try to promote it a little bit. But I wanted to dive in on this whole other side of what we were talking about when I first met you, is the history.
You know what? I'm kind of keeping that quiet for right now just because we haven't done it yet. Like, I'm still writing
Well,
out.
I'm not going to dive into that, but I'm saying how did you get involved in history like that?
Honestly, I swear to God, I think it's because of this left hand. Yeah. I pick up things. So, of course, you go to a museum, they tell you not to touch anything. When no one's looking, you totally touch everything. And I would pick up the history of things. Same thing with the antique stores. Like, I can go through an antique store and I can tell you. Like, I remember I saw this mirror once at an antique store and I was so drawn to it. But I could tell there was something toxic about this mirror because I couldn't even touch it. If my hand got close enough, it would burn. Like, it was warm. So I never even laid my hands on it, but I was about 6 inches away, and that was about as close as my hand could get. And what I could see, not with my naked eye, but in my mind, I saw this woman mourning over her children. Basically, it was during the Civil War. This woman had lost her husband in the war, and each one of her children died of scarlet fever, like every single one of them. Because, in those days, one kid would get sick, the whole family would pass. And they say about mirrors that sometimes they can lock in energy. So I don't know if this mirror was haunted or it just had witnessed every single one of these deaths. But I could feel this woman mourning her children through the mirror. But again, the whole left hand thing, like anytime I go to an antique store, I use my left hand because if I'm going to be bringing home a friend, I want to know.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So how do you know the difference between the future and the past?
So for me,
So like if you're touching
Yeah.
something, you know what I mean? Like how would you know between
oh, okay.
you know what I mean? Like how would you know that that energy coming from me is not something that was my past? You see what I'm saying? Is it just different?
Well, because the energy I felt in your hand is obviously happening right now.
Oh.
So that tells me like that's the energy that you're in is an energy of rapid movement, rapid success. That's what you're sitting in right now. So like if you had just lost your job or something, that might feel like a feeling of loss or like stagnation. It's all basically about reading people's energies. Like I can usually tell if someone's good or bad by their energies. I had this experience one time, and I was actually in the Dollar Tree of all places, and I think I was looking at toothpaste, and like somebody walked in the door. Like my whole body turned. Like I just knew, and I was focusing on this man, and I just knew he was bad, like evil bad. And it was weird because it's someone I'd never met, didn't know anything about him, and I felt kind of guilty for judging somebody I've never even met. So I kind of tried to put it out of my mind, and I went and got whatever I needed to get. And then I accidentally passed by him in an aisle. And when I got too close, my stomach started to turn, like I was going to throw up. And I think I just left the store. I don't even think I paid for my stuff.
What?
With someone who's
You carried the stuff with you?
No, I didn't leave the
I'm
store, but I
kidding.
think I just
Yeah.
I literally thought I was going to vomit. And sometimes I get that energy like off of people who've done really bad things, like if you've hurt a child, if
boy.
stuff like that. I don't know what this man did because I didn't know him in real life, but I knew he had done something.
Before we wrap this up, could you read Dave?
Yeah, okay.
What do you need me to do here?
I guess just put your hand in mine. I didn't bring cards or anything.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. All right. Let me I'll come around this way.
Okay.
Dave was like, you said I want to have to get on camera.
You want I stand here? Or?
Yeah, you can sit down, whatever. I'll just hold your hand for a minute. Okay.
Better be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something new. Are you thinking about trying something new? Did you start something new?
Yeah.
I'm getting a new job.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that, maybe.
All right. Let's see if this is going to be a good move or not. I feel like this job is going to lead to something else. Like this, it's not going to be where you stay, but this is going to be like a stepping stone, whatever this new thing is.
Yeah, I mean yeah.
Okay.
So you're on something. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's what I'm getting.
You're on to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right. Wow.
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 Oh my God.
I've never met him. I don't know if any of that is true.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. He just wow.
Was he waiting to hear about something? Is that why you
No,
wanted
he
me to read
literally
him?
dropped some news on me
Oh.
about something cool right a few minutes
Oh.
ago. I mean, I can't really go in on it,
Okay,
but
no, that's fine. That's crazy. But yeah, I just when I touched his hand, I felt newness. It was just like new. And I felt like it was an employment type of newness.
my freaking heart's racing right now. Anyways,
Well, make sure you release this before the psychic fair so people see it and then want to come donate money to the psychic fair.
Yeah. Well, now I don't know. We're supposed to kind of keep that secretive. No, I'm
Sorry.
kidding. We'll send it. Heck.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, look, I think we got enough time in on it. Then I
Yeah.
guess next time we'll dive into some more of the history stuff because you were dropping some bars on the history stuff. And I'm really excited about that. And I think you just closed it out really good. So
All right.
thanks for coming and hanging out.
So if you see me shaking someone's hand with two hands, you know I'm being nosy.